Hello, everybody. I'm Helen, and I teach at the Dorothy Benson Senior Services Center. And today we're starting a class on relief carving. Yeah. I'm going to show you some examples of what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's see. Here's one that's really flat, and let's see if this light will work. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, it's a little bit bright. Basically, it's kind of, there's undercuts here, so it's like a, three-dimensional carving, all right? And that's just a flat plaque. Here's one done on a pot. And if you look, it's pretty 3D and, it's pretty deep too, okay? And some of the leaves overlap the other leaves, such as here, okay? All right, and then you can see how that works, right? So if you think of it as maybe like a sculpture, and then you slice the sculpture in half and put it on the slab, that's kind of like relief sculpture. All right, here's one, and I think these are hydrangea blossoms. All right, and then so you can see how 3D that is. It's carved pretty deep. And this one just happens to be a little lidded container. All right, very 3D. Okay, and then right here, it's not as deep, but it still is away from the surface. And then here's one where I did just the lid. Okay, once again, if you notice, the leaves are overlapping each other, and some of those areas are really deep, like right here. All right, so you can see. And on the inside, it's basically just flat. All right, so let me show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. So for example, if we had an object like this, okay, and I want to make a relief carving of this, okay, first I have to decide at what angle I'm going to do the relief carving. Do I want it like this or sticking out like this? Okay, so we'll just make it simple and just make it like this. Now notice that this part is not flat. Okay, a lot of people, when they do the relief carving, they make this flat. It's a rounded thing. So here's, actually this one's a little bit flat, but okay. Actually, let's turn this into something a little bit more easy. How about a round circle kind of like thing? Okay, so obviously there's nothing flat here. So when we carve this, see if this will show up, and you can use any carving tool you want, but I like to use something like this, okay? And it's a small ribbon carving tool. And then for the finishing and more detailed work, I might use one of these metal carving tools. These can really get into tight surfaces. And then for super finishing, I will probably use this hook-like carving tool. All right. So first, if you want to translate this into relief carving, notice that this just sticks out. So think of it as half almost, okay? But I'm going to do a little bit more than half. So first you have to make where you're going to do the circle, all right? And then you have to decide how much of this you're going to carve away. So let me remove that. Okay. And I'll remove some of that. Okay. Then I'm going to go in pretty deep and remove some more. Okay, let me see if I can bring this closer for you. Okay, so that's what I have, but notice this is flat. Okay, we don't want that flat. I'm going to go in a lot more deeper. This little piece of clay is over an inch thick, so I have a lot to play with. Okay. Now, right now my clay is very wet, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to do this. All right, so now, because I'm not going to have that flat area, because remember, this isn't flat, I'm going to round it up. Now, because my clay is wet, I could sculpt it, but I'm trying to show you how to carve it. So assuming this is a little bit more dry and hard, I can carve this away, and I still have that flat area. I need to get rid of that flat area. That's going to be the high point. And I keep carving this away. It's still flat right there. And make it round, okay? All right. So it's still kind of flat there. And that it cannot be flat at all. So I'm going to shade this off. And then this needs to dip down further. Okay. It needs to curve down. Okay, let me clean this up so you can see what I've done so far. Okay, so I still have a slightly flat point right there. Okay, so this has, we'll get shaped some more. Now, I need to go down. This still curves, all right? Doesn't angle out, it curves. So I need to get rid of that. Okay. Now, this is almost half of that sphere. Okay. Almost, all right? So that's what it looks like right now. Now, it still looks like it's stuck to the background. So we're going to do an undercut, and that's going to make it come off of that background. And let me remove some of this back. Now I'm actually going to take this away, some of this away, because it's getting in the way. Okay. So it still looks like it's stuck to the background. So we're going to do an undercut. And with an undercut, sometimes I'll use a smaller tool. And I'll just cut underneath, just scoot out a little bit underneath. And once again, you would wait until this is a little bit more harder. Sometimes it's hard to get the timing right. So you can't, a lot of times you can't do the whole relief carving in one session. You have to like let it dry a little bit and work on it some more. Okay. So now I need to fix some of this. Okay. This needs to be more, no flat areas. Okay. Remove some of that. Okay, and I got it, this part doesn't look like it's stuck because I actually have an undercut. I don't know if you can see that. This side doesn't, so it looks like it's attached to the back, so I have to do an undercut here. And that means cut under a little bit. So that visually, it doesn't look like it's stuck to the background, okay? Okay, so now it shouldn't look like it's it's attached, but it's not stuck on there. Now, as this dries, I will fine tune it, and I'll actually take this tool and make a more defined undercut. But usually I wait until it's a little bit harder and dry. Then it won't be as messy as this, right? And I'm just, for demo purpose, I'm just doing it right now while it's still kind of wet. Okay, so I would dig underneath like that. All right, so that's what I will do. And that's relief carving. All right, so let me show you on a little lidded box I made. We can transfer a design. Okay, so I took 2 pinch pots and put it together. Okay, and sealed it really good where the joint is. All right, now this is going to be the bottom, and then I kind of have to decide on the shape if I want it round like this or not. So first we did the first sample was a flat surface. This is a rounded surface, right? And then you kind of want to shape it, and you kind of want it to kind of harden and dry a little bit. And I'm going to transfer the design to this. Now, you can draw the design like on a piece of plastic wrap, a thin piece of plastic wrap, like, yeah, this one looks like a dry cleaner bag. And then I'm going to take a Sharpie and draw, let's see. I'll do a ginkgo leaf again, okay? Okay, so I drew 2 ginkgo leaves. You can draw the whole image if you want. And I place it where I want to place. So if you use thin plastic, it on the round surface, it kind of stretches around it. And then I'm going to take a blunt pencil. And then I can go ahead and go over that line lightly, okay? It won't be perfect because this is a curved surface and I am applying a flat drawing to it. Okay. And if I wanted to, I can move this around and put it elsewhere, all right? But right now, let me just do it with 2 of the leaves. So I got a slight dent. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and draw out the rest of my design freehand because I need to know where I'm going to make the cut for the opening of this lidded item. So let's see. And and these are ginkgo leaves, so they're kind of flat. So it's not like a super 3D kind of thing. When you're first practicing how to do this, I recommend like leaves because it's just going to be easier to do something flat. So let's see, I'll just put another one here. Sketch it in lightly with the pencil. Oh, this guy's not exactly round. Okay, so as I think I'm going to cover the whole lid with leaves. So let's see. I'll do that. So this would be like right now outdoors when there's leaves on the ground. And I'll just keep going. And I'm aiming towards the opening. I'm kind of like covering this. Okay, so I got, and the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to give this jar an irregular, instead of just a regular cut around to open the thing, I'm going to follow the leaves. So it's going to have a irregular opening, and I'll show you with the okay, so this one it's just a regular opening, and it's just cut straight across. Okay, and that's okay, but when you're hand building, that's kind of hard to get it perfectly round. See, if you're throwing this on a wheel, you'll get a perfectly round ball. I mean, you can try getting it perfect if you want, but I'm going to give it an irregular opening. So I have to cut along the leaves. I mean, in this case, it's petals, but so I'm going to cut around where the petals are, okay, instead of cutting across. So need to just make sure it's all going to be okay here. I think I need one more maybe, or I can leave that open. Okay, so I've got the where I'm going to cut all done. Okay. Let's see, right where I have a very sharp place, I'm not going to, I'm just going to go across on those. So let's see, I have an irregular opening. And that way also the lid doesn't slide right off at the bottom of the container. It has all the stuff that keeps it from moving around. Okay, so I kind of marked where I had that irregular opening. And what I'm probably not going to do is, let's see if you can see this. On this ginkgo leaf, I have this one part where this is the leaf, but right here is that center slit in the leaf. I'm just going to go across on that. Okay, my round ball is not even for some reason. Okay, so at this point, I don't cut it open at all. And what I'm going to do is carve it, except for my ball is not even for some reason. I think I pound it into evenness. I won't be carving the bottom of this. I could carve branches in there, you know, twigs or those little tiny branches that the ginkgo was on. Okay, it could be the like table. It's not exactly. Sometimes it's better to just do an irregular shape instead of a perfectly round shape because it's hard to get that perfectly round shape. Okay, now I need to decide. Let me see if this will work. Let's see if you can see this better, maybe. Now I need to decide which leaf is the one that's going to be way on the top, okay? And then I will carve that very shallow. So I will use, it's kind of, it can be a confusing process. In fact, I can't even see my lines anymore. So let's make my lines here. You can always erase these lines, you know. Okay, I think I can see it. Okay, it looks like this is the most top leaf. So the stem part, you have to be careful. It's very, very delicate there. So I'm going to carve in, not that deep. I can't remember how thick the walls of this piece is. So, and if I accidentally punch a hole through, I'll just have to make that part of my design unless I want to patch it. Okay, so I didn't go in that deep. I don't know if you can see this, okay? So that's going to be my topmost leaf. And then I need to look for another one that might be the topmost. Okay, I don't see any. So then I do the second one. So that means this guy. All right, I need to go a little bit deeper on this one. Okay, so this is the topmost leaf, and this should be underneath, and it's at the same level as that topmost leaf. So I'm going to shade it down a little bit. And right now, only at where it comes in contact with the highest leaf. I forgot what did I just do? Oh yeah, okay. Because I want to define that this guy goes underneath. If this will help, yeah. So this guy is the topmost and this one goes underneath. So I'm going to move him. I'm not going to carve away all of it. I'm just going to, just a little bit on this side, okay? Okay. So this is going to be negative space. Except for I've got another leaf right there. Okay, it is going to get confusing, but I guess that's the only way to learn how to do this. Okay, he's underneath that number one leaf. So I need to cut this away, or at least at an angle where it comes in contact with that. You can cut away a lot more if you want to. Okay, except for he has a stem. So this stem is going to go under this leaf. Okay, you're probably totally confused. I gotta get rid of this negative space here. There's no leaf there. Okay. All right, so that's the deepest part. It's actually probably maybe easier to just get rid of the negative space right now and just carve that out real deep. So no leaves here. Yeah, do that first because then you'll be able to see it better. A lot of times I don't do that because I also add leaves there, but when you're first learning, maybe just go ahead and remove that negative space. All right. So this leaf is still under this one, the first one. And this one is under the first one. And carefully. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. Okay, I think this is negative space right here. Okay, so I'll get rid of that. I'm going to remove some of that. This is the stem of this other leaf, and it goes under this guy. Okay, so I'm kind of working with wet clay. You will wait until this dries a little bit. This porcelain, even though the outside might feel dry, it just stays super wet on the inside. Okay, so I can always clean this up later. I just have to block it out. Okay. All right. So that's what I've gotten so far. Now, I'm going to do this leaf here. I'm just going to carve. I need to find a negative space. Where is the negative space? There is no negative space. Okay. There's a leaf that is under all of this. So I will work on that first. Sometimes you can get lost and then your design changes, and that's okay. Unless you were doing like a realistic carving, and so then you have to be careful, but okay. So notice I'm not carving it, all of that leaf out, just carving it away where it's making contact with that leaf. All right, now these two are together, so I'm gonna have to carve out this one, but I'm leaving right here high. Carve away this one. Okay. So this, I have to define this, okay? Okay, so carved it away from that little leaf. And carve it away from that one. Okay. All right, so far it looks like that. I know it looks really messy and everything. First, you have to just carve away the different layers. All right, I'm going to make, looks like we have one that's really, I might make that a negative space because, let's see what's going on here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna work on this one first. Okay. So this leaf is going to be over that. And what I'll do is just bevel this part. Make it go away from this leaf. And I need to do it right here. Okay. So what I've done here is detach this leaf from this bigger leaf. There's a stem right here, a delicate stem, so I have to be careful. All right. Now I need to define this one. I never did that. So I'll do that. And this is the opening. So I'm just going to lightly, because I'm not sure how much I'm going to cut away first. Okay, this is another leaf right here. And I have another leaf right here. So this is near the opening. And I need to detach this, define it away from, define that part. Let's see. And sometimes because it gets confusing, so I don't even know what that is. Okay, what I'll do is I'll actually make the veins of the ginkgo leaf sometimes because I'll forget. I just get lost and I can't tell what's what. So this way I know that's a leaf right there. And then I'll know that's a leaf right there. I can visualize it better if I did this. Okay, so see what I'm doing right here? I'm just putting the veins in. These aren't going to be the final veins, but this way I know where my leaves are. Okay, so I think you can tell, and this way I can tell better where my leaves are, okay? I mean, some of them are really obvious and you don't need that, but some of these others, it's just really hard to tell. Okay, I need to work on this piece right here, which is the opening. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make the opening line. Let's see. So this isn't one of those rushed jobs. What you're going to do is you're going to do a rough carving first, and then you're going to go back about 5 to 10 times, just fine tuning it, carving it as it slowly dries, okay? And then towards the end, when it gets really a little bit harder, much harder, like leather hard, you can really clean it up and define things a lot better. Okay, right now, I'm just kind of working on the opening part. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so because this piece is still soft, it's distorting on me here. Just have to reshape it. And the bottom happens to be super thin, the wall. I can feel it. And that's causing problems. So I should have made a pinch pot with even walls, but I wasn't very careful, I don't think. Okay, now I have to this leaf is way underneath, so I'll have to carve out a lot of that. Okay. I kind of wish I didn't do this one leaf because it's not a good one. I guess it's going to cause me problems later. Okay, this one's going to go underneath the other one. So carve a little bit, bevel the corn edge. Okay. This one needs to be a little bit under that one. Now you don't have to make it realistic design. You can do an abstract design. That might be fun too. Okay, and then this, I think that's the last one. It's gonna go under this one. I think I'm gonna let that edge go over this leaf. So I'll move that. Okay. So now I know where my leaves are. okay? And I kind of know who's underneath what, right? And I can't open this up yet because it's so wet and so soft still. And then I'm gonna let this dry a little bit more. Then I'll go back and keep work on it. But at some point I will have to cut this open. And I'm gonna cut it open. Actually, I can cut it open right now because yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it open right now. I can wait a little bit, but for demo purposes, I'll just cut it open right now. Okay, you need a super sharp blade. X-Acto knife is fine. Long enough, okay? And you have to go at if you can, go at a 45 angle. And once you stick it in, don't pull it out again. I'm gonna get a turntable. Okay. So I'm going to wet the knife a little bit. Okay, once you stick it in, you'll hear the air come out. Try to keep it at a 45 angle, a 45-degree angle. And just kind of cut it open, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to do any of the sharp angles. I'm just going to somehow incorporate that into the carving. Okay, so don't take it out once you stick it in. And when you get to the end, this piece is super wet, so it's gonna take some doing to pry it open. Okay, and it's gonna distort. All right. So see how thick the inside is? So I have to clean all that out. Now, before you put the lid back on, you need to take little pieces of the paper towel, because if I put that lid back on, it's gonna seal up again because the clay is wet. So when it gets a little bit drier, I will clean this out. I'm not going to carve it yet. I'm not going to carve out the excess yet because I don't know how deep I'm going to carve everything. So we'll just leave that as is for now, but you need to put pieces of paper towel, and hopefully I can find a place where it's supposed to go. Yeah. And you can make a little notch if you want to know where it's supposed to go. You want it to dry slowly with the lid on, okay? Because otherwise, excuse me, it's going to warp and dry differently and the lid won't fit. So you want to keep that lid on, put that lid back on, okay? So you let that dry. I need to keep reshaping this because it's it keeps getting lumpy on this one side for some reason. Okay. And you're going to keep carving, but you just let it dry a little bit, carve some more, dry a little bit, and carve some more. This guy needs to make sure that lid stays on and it fits. Okay. All right, so hopefully I can carve some more. I'll just keep an eye on this and keep carving it, and you'll be able to see what this looks like next time. Okay. I will have to work on the shape here. It's not working. It's just sagging real bad on me. That's why you wait until it's a little bit stiffer before you cut it open. Okay. All right. So we'll see you next time. All right. Bye.